Now, if you're looking on Facebook, you will see the lesson is this great big monstrosity. No, I'm not going to read all of it. I have done, and it takes 27 minutes. The portion I will read is above I think I have brackets there. I've marked it in some way because beyond a certain point, it makes more sense if you're reading it for yourself. And then that is where we start discussing Thomas Aquinas' own works. And when you read it for yourself versus having someone read it to you, it is much more comprehensive. Tommaso di Aquino was born in approximately 1225. He died 7 March 1274 at 49 years old in what is now Lazio, Italy. A Dominican friar, a philosopher, a Catholic priest, and doctor of the Church, which is a title given by the Catholic Church to saints, recognized as having made a significant contribution to theology or doctrine through their research, study, or writing. There are, I believe, 15 doctors of the Church, and only one is female. An immensely influential philosopher, theologian, and jurist in the tradition of scholasticism, Thomas Aquino is also known within the latter as the Doctor of Angelicus, with the Doctor of Communis. The name Aquinas identifies his ancestral origins in the county of Aquino, in present-day Lazio, Italy. He was the foremost classical proponent of a natural theology and the father of Thomism, of which he argued that the reason is found in God. His influence on Western thought is considerable, and much of modern philosophy developed or opposed his ideas, particularly in the ideas of ethics, natural law, metaphysics, and political theory. For his writings, what wee bit I have here is a 30,000-foot view and quick view of his massive amount of works, most especially of his theological treatises on God, the existence of God, sin, and the Trinity. Please read through Wikipedia under Thomas Aquinas, and then follow the links to other, longer expositions if your interest is present. This is valuable reading for any educated Christian person, and it is such a deep faith view and easily understood. Only someone writing with the divine editor on their shoulder could be this concise. I studied the works of St. Thomas Aquinas at university with a fabulous Jesuit instructor. That semester of instruction into just the work of St. Thomas, and the quick glances at dozens of earlier writings to see the influences, was one of my hardest and most challenging courses in all of my degrees that I sat. But by far, it was the most enriching and fulfilling. That is why I encourage you to read St. Thomas Aquinas. I believe that you too will find him challenging, but you'll love it. You'll love that challenge, and you'll love the way he thinks. Unlike many currents in the church of the time, St. Thomas embraced several ideas put forward by Aristotle, whom he called the philosopher, and he attempted to synthesize Aristotelian philosophy with the principles of Christianity. His best-known works are the disputed questions on truth, and I encourage all of you to read this. the Summa contra Gentes, and the unfinished but massively influential Summa Theological, otherwise known as Summa Theologiae. His commentaries on Scripture and on Aristotle also form an important part of his body of work. Furthermore, Thomas is distinguished from his Eucharistic hymns, which form a part of the Church's liturgy. The Catholic Church honors Thomas Aquinas as a saint and regards him as the model teacher for those studying for the priesthood, and indeed the highest expression of both natural reason and speculative theology. In modern times, under papal directives, the study of his works was long used as a core of the required program of study for those seeking ordination as priests or deacons, as well as those in religious formation and for other students of the sacred disciplines: philosophy, Catholic theology, church history, liturgy, and canon law. Thomas Aquinas is considered one of the Catholic Church's greatest theologians and philosophers. Pope Benedict XV declared, "This order acquired new luster when the Church declared the teachings of Thomas to be her own, and that doctor, honored with the special praises of the pontiffs, the master and patron of the Catholic schools." The English philosopher Anthony Kenny considers Thomas to be one of the dozen greatest philosophers of the Western world. Thomas's philosophical thought has exerted enormous influence on the subsequent Christian theology, especially that of the Catholic Church, extending to Western philosophy in general. Thomas stands as a vehicle and modifier of Aristotelianism and Neoplatonism. It is said that Thomas modified both Aristotelianism and Neoplatonism by way of heavy reliance on the pseudo-Dionysianism. Thomas Aquinas believed that for the knowledge of any truth whatsoever, humans need divine help, that the intellect may be moved by God to its act. However, he believed that human beings have the natural capacity to know many things without special divine revelation, even though such revelation occurs from time to time, especially in regard to such truths as pertain to faith. But this is the light that is given to a man by God, according to man's nature. Now every form bestowed on created things by God has power for a determined actuality, which it can bring about in proportion to its own proper endowment, and beyond which it is powerless, except by a superadded form, as water can only heat when heated by fire. And thus the human understanding has a form, intelligible light, which of itself is sufficient for knowing certain intelligible things, those we can come to know through the senses. He is venerated in the Catholic, Anglican, and Lutheran churches. He was canonized on 18 July 1323 in Avignon of the Papal States by John the 22nd. His major shrine is Church of the Jacobins in Toulouse, France. His attributes are the Summa Theologica, a model church, the sun on the chest of a Dominican friar. He is a patron of chastity. He is against storms, against lightning, the apologists, Aquino, Italy, Belcastro, Italy, Fellina, Italy, booksellers, Catholic academies, schools and universities in general, learning. He is a patron of pencil makers, philosophers, theologians, publishers, academics, scholars, students, and the University of St. Thomas. From this point forward, you can read the rest on your own time, as this gives an overview of St. Thomas' view of virtues, and is a rather good overview of his works. I encourage you to do this on your own time, but it is written in a way that anyone with a 7th grade education can easily understand it. If you have any questions of what you read in these last 10 inches, please feel free to drop me a note and we can discuss it. Thank you. And sorry about the hiccups during the song. Bye for now.